you in the brig for what you've done, but I won't do it.
Talking Dicks, spinoff of the web series The Two Dicks. I'm Al Romas in Tampa, Florida, where it's cold, by the way.
Is it chilly?
45 degrees this morning upon waking up. 45, probably about 50, 55 right now.
Wow.
It's cold.
That's Bill Burr. Burr. Get it?
That's cold, son. I get it. And by the way, you're in California. How's the weather there, Alfred?
We're breaking into the 70s today. We did have a cold spell, but now it's going up to 77 today. It was 78 yesterday. Pretty nice.
78 was a good year for me. I remember that was...
you lost your virginity, right?
78? I don't think so. I think I might have...
With your hand!
I think I was hanging on, literally, in 78. I think I was in there, yeah. So, but otherwise a good year, yes. But speaking of the cold weather, I'm going to be taking a trip in a few weeks, going to Maryland and Long Island. Mm-hmm. So that in December. I don't know what I'm thinking. That's going to be awful temperatures. Are you paying attention, sir?
Well, I'm making adjustments, as I always tell you. I want to make sure you're hitting negative 12. You're a little low, but I got you.
I see.
So what I'll do is I just boost your volume up in the beginning, and then it levels off. Go ahead.
Yeah. So I'll be on the East Coast, Northeast, in a couple of weeks, and we'll be. I'll do the podcast from Maryland and then New York.
I'm looking forward to that. You're going to go back to your old stomping grounds.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to seeing the people, but those weather conditions, I'm not a fan of that.
What is the weather conditions?
Well, it was in the 30s yesterday in Maryland. Yeah, and it's going to be December, so you can get some snow. And but here's the thing: we were talking about the COVID situation and all that. Mm-hmm. My sister made a reservation because my birthday. I'll be up there for my birthday, the day after my birthday. Mm-hmm. So she's like, "Oh, we'll go to this restaurant that I like, and we'll celebrate your birthday." But they're not open, of course. But they have a big tent with heaters, and we'll go there.
Right.
Again, now we may have discussed this already, but the flaps will all be down of this big tent. There will be heaters on. There will be people at tables.
Makes no sense.
Why can't we just go in the building?
Well, I agree. No, I've seen this, and this is happening right here on Ventura Boulevard. 3 out of 4 places that have gone with the tent on the sidewalk, completely closed in. Slightly higher roof than maybe indoors, but it's like, what are you doing? Now there's a couple.
It's indoors.
There's a couple of them that have. It's like a lean-to. It's like a roof, and then one wall, and then the rest of it's wide open. And they have the heaters. That's to keep the heat lamps, the heat in. But the rest of them are just. It's indoors. Like you said, it's
ridiculous.
It's
ridiculous.
It's semantics. Is that what it is? No. What is it called?
Optics. But they have this beautiful restaurant that I can't go in. So we're going to be in a tent in a parking lot with flaps down, heaters on in December.
Can you go in to use the restroom?
And that's outside.
Can you use the restroom?
I have no idea. I have no idea. I don't know anything about this. But we'll see. And then, it was very nice of her to do this. I didn't think we'd be going anywhere. So, and that's, of course, weather permitting. Who knows what December 22nd will be like in Maryland.
In the Maryland.
Yeah.
Well, again, if it's a high enough ceiling and everybody wears their mask until they get to their seats and then they can take them off. It's the people that take their mask off as they're walking in and the staff comes up and says, "Hey, you got to have your mask on." "How am I supposed to eat?" "Once you sit down, you can take your mask off." "Why is that so hard to get to?" And then you have people that sit down, they take their mask off, and then they just start walking around and they start walking over to people.
Yeah.
To the waiter and walking by. People are like, "What are you doing? Get the fuck away from me." I don't know. People are just dumb.
I went to a place the other night, and indoors, but it masked, the whole thing, very good. And but it was just funny how I'm not observant of anything, even though I'm a comic. Like you would think, like I should be looking at. I don't observe. So I go to the bathroom, and it's a place called Ford's Garage. I think it's like a chain, maybe, or a franchise. But anyway, it's all Ford cars. Everything about it is about Fords and cars. Everything. Mm-hmm. So the bathroom, the sink is a big tire, and it's all knobs from like the radio turn on the water, right? All
the urinal's a muffler. Just gonna.
Yes.
Try to get my. Hold on, sorry.
Yeah, you sit on the back seat, instead of a toilet, you just crap on the, it just, so anyway, I do my thing, I go back, I'm hanging out, talking to this girl, and she goes, "This is the bathroom?" Like, that's pretty cool, isn't it? Like, you never see that before. And I go, What was going on in the bathroom? She's like, "You didn't notice anything about the bathroom?" I go, "No, what is going on?" I literally didn't notice. The sink was a tire. The water faucet was a radio knob I didn't notice any of it.
Your job is observation, sir. But I think it's the pandemic. The pandemic it's giving us this myopic vision because we're like, okay, lockdown, mask on. We're so preoccupied with all this stuff. We're not absorbing what's happening out there.
No. So anyway, that was ridiculous. And then I said, "I'll go back." And she was like, "No, well, next time you go just, but look." And I go, "Oh, you're right." And then I came back, "Oh, you're right. It's pretty cool." But, just dumb guy. But, I don't know when this air. Friday? Yes.
Probably.
Friday. I will be at McCurdy's performing stand-up comedy tonight and tomorrow night with Mike Rivera, who was voted the funniest teacher, I believe, in the state of Florida. I don't know what that means.
Does he teach
exactly.
comedy, stand-up comedy?
I think he's a real teacher, elementary school. But he's been doing comedy forever, as long as I've known. I always thought of him as a comic.
He should teach.
So whatever.
Well, if he's a real teacher and still does comedy, that's good for him, man.
I know.
He's probably doing online classes, no?
Yes.
Right.
Yeah, I think, again, I don't know what's going on. We're in Florida, so I would
Well, you guys are,
you're
the separate country. There's no COVID.
But Tampa's been good, I'll tell you. Like, in that place I went to, you had to have a mask to get in. People were good with the masks. Bathroom, everybody had the mask on, that whole thing. Even though there was, tires and sinks and I didn't notice one goddamn thing. I think I might have maybe not the COVID, but I got something, I don't know. That scared me. I was like, how the fuck can I not notice? I'm basically in a, in a museum for cars, and I didn't notice one thing about it.
You have COVID on your mind. I've got COVID on my mind.
It's not the only thing I have on my mind, believe me.
Pussy.
And,
Meow. Meow.
I'm going to buy a car, if you know what I mean.
I love that joke. Do that joke. Tell them that joke, because we're going to do some heckler lines anyways.
Oh, that joke is, how does that start? I'm thinking, I'm like, wait a second. How does that joke start? The guy said, you're going to, no, I don't remember.
Try to remember. I'll cut this
line.
part out and you go right into the joke.
I remember the punchline. But you going to buy, you interested in buying a car? No,
you're thinking about buying the car? No, I'm thinking about pussy.
Yeah, no.
I'm going to buy it, but I'm thinking about pussy. That's what that was a debacle. We just ruined that joke.
That's the same joke almost as the gambling joke. I have gambling money.
How's it go again? Refresh my memory.
There's a bum on the boardwalk, say in Atlantic City, and the guy's walking past, and the bum goes, "Hey man, you got any money? I could get a sandwich." And the guy goes, come on, you just go gamble it. And the bum goes, "I've got gambling money."
Sorry, I started laughing ahead because I knew it was coming. But
yeah, that's a great one. Great one. And yeah, we had talked about hecklers and heckler lines and stock lines that we've used. You use in the beginning. You try to get away from. Some guys still go to them. And then But the thing too is when you get to be a veteran comedian, it's not. You really don't get heckled anymore. It can happen. It can happen, but it's not like playing a bar when you're a beginner and drunks. These people paid to get in, or they're on a cruise, or they're in Vegas. They're not looking to wreck your show.
No. For the most part, at this level, not tooting our own horn, I guess I am. When we do get heckled, it still happens once in a while, but not like back in the day. No. I'm actually surprised when it does happen now. I'm like, what? Oh, that hasn't happened in a while. But and that's all like 3 seconds. That's all like 2 seconds, and then
it's kind of fun in a way to think, whoa, this guy really wants to be part of this. I will fucking kill you right now. Let's be honest. I have a microphone, so I'm louder. I'm in a light, I'm smarter than you, and I'm funnier. So you have 4 things against you right now, and you're going to try and come at me. It's not
That's
gonna
not a knife. That's a knife.
work. The only thing I don't like is when some heckler says something and it's just nothing, and the audience goes, ooh, and then it's quiet, and they're looking at you because it's all the pressure now. Like, you have to come back with something that's going to
By the audience doing that, they've raised the bar.
Oh, the bar is too, and it's too high. You can't. That they've made it where it's almost impossible now. What they're expecting to happen, but it's kind of rare. And anyway, I wrote a couple down. I'm sure you did. It was your idea. So you can start if you
You're
want.
an asshole.
Give us the first.
You are an
first
asshole.
one
On the
list.
last podcast I gave him, I said, let's think of some comeback lines, hack lines, or stock lines when we're being heckled or just in general. And I said, let's have a couple for the next round. And he said, okay. Of course, he did his homework, and I did not. I am ill prepared. But throw some out because maybe it will trigger something. Well, for instance, I'll give you an example. On the last podcast, which you should listen to, it's very good. One of the response was when you're being heckled, I do my act like you have sex alone. That was a 25, 30-year-old response.
Right. Well, this would be like one you could do this. I used to do this line, to the MC when he would bring me on. But you could also say it to an audience guy, good to see you back in men's clothing.
I remember that one. And it would usually get a laugh right out of the gate. And then the audience is focused on it.
Usually when the MC would bring me on, I'd have a hand for Bob, everybody. Great to see Bob back in men's clothing. Yeah.
I told you the one that I. Well, hold on. Is it my turn? Is it?
All right.
Is it a back? It's a back
your
and forth.
turn.
Is this talking
Yes,
dicks
sir.
or talking dick? What is it?
Talking dicks, it's your turn.
I would do this one sometimes if they asked me, "Hey, would you mind introducing the MC?" And I'd be like, "Cool, yeah, I'll do it. I don't care if anybody asks me for anything." And sometimes it's from the back of the room, and sometimes it's on stage. Sometimes I'd go up on stage and go, "Hey, we have a great show for you here tonight. Before I bring up our MC, I just want to mention we have so and so from Maryland, and we got a very funny comedian. We're just happy to have him here. Very lucky to have him. Very funny, Mr. Al Ducharme. My name is Al Ducharme. I'd like to bring up our host for the evening. Pow! Gazunk!
Wow. And that would
It would get a chuckle. It would get a chuckle.
These were easy crowds you were working. All right. Well, that's fun. That's a good one. If I want to hear an asshole, I'll fart. Yeah.
Pow! Kapong!
Crowd goes nuts. I've never used it. I've never.
I heard them all,
one,
and I used maybe one or two in the past, early on.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I really didn't. I might have done the McDonald's, the dicks in the mouth, or whatever that kind of version of that. Any more? Got another?
Where'd you learn how to whisper? In a helicopter? Remember the chatty person in the front row?
Yeah, I never liked that one though, because what do we?
A sawmill. Some people said sawmill.
Yeah, I always heard helicopter. I just thought no one's ever been in a helicopter. It's such a random thing to choose as the noisy place.
I think if someone's midstream and telling the joke and they're just about to get to it, and someone's like, rah, 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 rah. Oh, where'd you learn how to whisper? A helicopter? It would shut them up.
Yeah. It's still around.
Oh,
it's
no,
still
don't tell
out
me
there. It hasn't been that long since I've heard that one. So yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. And I'll tell you, let's get over quickly. You're ugly, your dick is small, and everyone fucks your mother. How about that one?
Well, you said that to me in private.
That's a little quickie there. I remember Staten Island sometimes having to not use that, but hearing that one from guys, versions of that. And it always end with and we fuck your mother.
Fuck your mother.
And then the guy would stand up, and then there'd be a fist fight.
Right. There's all versions of that.
Anyway, is anyone going to do
Holy
anything about
shit!
this?
Your
I mean,
mom had
anyone-
5 kids. Really? She is so tight. Just any version of that.
Yes,
today
sir.
we have
Questions.
Question. And it's a theme show. Our buddy Ralph Kimber III.
Well, I'm glad you are tuning in, Ralph. Do you have any expertise in sound recording?
Yeah, Ralph's a critic. Suddenly.
Ralph mentioned
Ralph's a patron
in
critic.
his hotel room on the last podcast, there was like a minute of the Wi-Fi in your hotel was a little wonky, and it threw it off a little bit. And Ralph's like, "It's out of sync. The audio is out of sync." Yeah, for 15 seconds it was.
15 seconds, Ralph. His whole world was shattered. I can't watch anymore.
Ralph.
But
he was listening. And he's a big supporter.
And watching.
And Ralph,
after that,
look in the mail. We're replacing some of the damaged goods you had.
How nice of the 2 dicks, man. You get stuff, you break shit.
Apparently,
you get
Ralph
replaced.
accidentally broke his 2 dicks mug because he thought it was made out of steel
and coaster, which is quite an accomplishment. They're not easy to break.
And we just sent him a gift. It was a gift.
It's not an easy coaster.
As a Patreon member, he's entitled to a free gift. This is his second round.
But a ceramic kind of top and a cork backing is not easy.
Oh, he did destroy the coaster. I just sent him 2
did that too, so.
coasters and 1 mug.
Well, that's enough. We're done with you, Ralph. Stop breaking shit. Anyway, his question. He was watching even with the sync problems, he was able to watch the whole thing, and he asked, "Has there ever been a good heckle that made you laugh, and what heckle do you hate the most?" On the good one, I don't care for heckles. I think people should be shot and tarred and feathered if you yell some shit out in a room where there's a show. So I wouldn't acknowledge a good one. I don't know what a good one would be. A good heckle? No, I don't have a good. I've never enjoyed one. I never enjoyed. I never thought, well, that's clever.
I've had a couple of shows, and I've mentioned this in the past, where it was a heckled comment on my act, and it got a laugh, and I went, "Oh, I'm using that." That's mine now.
That was me.
That was you. That was you.
Was probably, yeah.
Like they put a tag on your bit, and it's like it's not.
But isn't that phony? Don't you say that just to make the audience feel good? Like, hey, I didn't think of that one, or thanks, I'm going to use that. But you really don't.
Sometimes I said, my writer, ladies and gentlemen, my writer. Yeah.
Right, yeah, right. Yes. Or I'll go like, I didn't think of that. That's not bad.
Meanwhile, go fuck yourself. I'll never use it. Yeah. It's a tactic on our part, actually. Yeah.
Professionals. We got tricks. We turn tricks when we're not on stage. I've been doing it. I'm out of work. We're in December now, and this pod was created, I believe, at the end of March.
This
and we're
is
in December.
Pandemic podcast.
This thing's going to be a year before we know. We're going to have
over 100
year
volumes. 100 volumes.
Holy God. I thought we were going to do this. I mean, I wanted to do it, but I just thought, well, we'll be back at work in the summer, and then we'll do it.
I thought it was going to be a couple of months.
Just continues on,
and then we would do it once a week.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. But our work ethic has been not remarkable, but it's been whatever the word would. What's the word where it'd be like notable, 2 a week, every week.
Disciplined and consistency.
Yes, other people have done similar things, and March, April, May, June, July, on. They didn't last.
Well, it's not. There's work to it. There's some preparation. There's some technical aspects. 3,000 miles, 2,800 miles between us. I mean, it's
And you got to be. It's like a work. You got to know on this day at this time. you got to be ready. And then a couple days later, this time, you got to be
And-
ready.
And I'm going to tell you right now, 1 out of 3, 1 out of 4 times, as much prep as we're doing, there's always a technical issue. For instance, this morning,
Sure.
I was going through and it said, update your app. And I'm like, no. And I couldn't hear you. So you said, reboot, because that's what we've done in the past. And I rebooted, and then we had sound again.
Well, I didn't want Ralph Kimber III to be,
Distraught.
writing in with some complaint about something. So, yeah, I didn't want to ruin his day, for God's sake.
So
He'll be go breaking shit. Oh, by the way, the last part of that, what heckle do you hate the most?
I've been a victim of this heckle, and I've witnessed it. And unwarranted in most aspects. Next.
That's
Is
mine.
it really? Yeah, that's the worst.
That's mine. Same exact one.
I've heard next
It's
when I picked up the mic after my intro. I picked the mic out like this. I went, hi, everybody. Next.
it's the worst because there's nothing to come back with. Taking the mic out when it doesn't hurt as much as after you've done like 5 or 10 minutes and somebody yells next. They've seen enough. You're exposed. It's just there's nothing to come back from. You can't fight it and go, hey, fuck you. I mean next. No, you were just told next. Leave.
All right, here's your comeback line. Ready? Say next. So,
Next.
oh, your mother's ready for me?
Give me a warning.
No, really, don't mess with me, because I don't come down to the bus station and slap the dick out of your mouth when you're working, do I? Oh, get on up here, motherfucker. Give me security. I'm sorry, man. The guy fucking came at me. What do you think, folks?
No way.
Okay, show it.
Subscribe.
Mary.
Go to patreon.com/forward the 2 dicks.
If you shoot me, you won't see a cent of that money. Why?